Welcome back to my other guide here. This is going to be a tips and tricks guide for Ostriv. So this is the new year. So you pretty much have all your buildings, assuming that you got your farm and everything done. And you have your crops like I showed you in the other video. And you can link up your farms. You have your cow shed here too. So we have our cow shed ready for animals. And we have our little field here for the cows. We don't really have cows yet, but we want to, get those. So you kind of want to take some of your villagers off building. You don't really need them. And the carpentry is just about ready to make more. So you want to get your metal parts. So the metal parts will be good to build, to repair your carts. You're going to need those. Don't forget to reselect. So once we have our worker, it's very important that before you go off on an adventure, you want to have your workers and your manager in the building. Because if we buy something or if we sell something, we're not going to have enough. And also, this is a huge tip. Charcoal is a really good way to sell stuff and to make money. Because if you get lucky and they want charcoal, these towns will want random shit. Every month or so you can check, and they'll want something new. Their tastes and their things will change. So you're gonna want to have that just in reserve. It's very easy to make charcoal. All you need is just wood getting chopped. That's easy. So just do that. And boatyard. We're not gonna have enough time to go fishing yet, so we're gonna want to make the boat and the fishing dock just in ready. So here we go. Awesome. We have cows. So this is kind of important. I mean, the first you want to do Belliclia because they usually have a full stock of animals. The first time you contact them, they're almost always gonna have cows. I think it's like every time I've done this. So you want to do 4 cows, and you want to do 2 bulls. Actually, you can do 3 bulls if you have the money, which you can. We can do the 3 bulls because you're gonna want to make a plow with the oxen. So the oxen are important for next year, so we can farm faster with the plow. So if you order the plow, you can supply for oxen. They'll bring some hay, like the cow shed has a lot of hay and stuff stocked. So that is good. And we have a cow shed. We have a field. Our pastures are good. Make sure you designate at least 1 pasture per year, or else if you don't designate a pasture for your cows will eat you out of house and home. They'll eat all the hay and they might starve to death, so we don't want that. They'll stay inside. The more they stay inside, the more expensive it is to feed them and stuff, so just let them have their own pasture. It's fine. If you make sunflowers, oh, that's right. We need to do a oil workshop. That is very important. Oil workshops are the bomb. That's how you're going to make most of your money. And I'll show you how to do that soon. We might not do it by the end of this year. We can reserve this money. This is fine since we have our economy is frozen right now. We don't need to worry about money. We've got our cows. Oh, awesome. We have our cows. So we can just let these cows just do their thing. That's fine. We can set up a few more hay barracks. That doesn't hurt. You need hay. And the oil workshop is awesome because it lets you create oil instantly, and it goes for a lot of money for the trader. So, and every now and then, if you have a manager in your post and a worker, you're gonna get random requests to trade. They're gonna send messengers to our city, so we don't have to really do much. We just have to contact Belliclia for the cows in the beginning. We can just kind of lay back and just let that go, and they have milk now, so we can actually sell milk at the market for the people. Awesome. And the milk is just gonna get sucked up by everyone. It's just gonna get distributed like communist style, so don't worry about that too much. The milk will just be constantly be distributed to all the villagers. And if we got a messenger. Oh, sunflower oil. So sunflower oil is good, so you can sell 2,000 sunflower oil for $360. We don't have sunflowers right now. We're growing them, so probably next year we'll just do that. But yeah, the sunflower oil is definitely a huge thing. And we've got our fishing docks, and we have a boatyard. We can probably build that next year. We don't really need them right now, so don't worry about that. We're already into May, so June, July, August, and September is like there's only 4 months left to fish. So we don't have to worry about fishing for the first year or the second year. We can do that in the third year. That's actually a very good timeline to set up. And we got cows. Our cows are eating us out of house and home right now. Just make sure you watch your hay barracks. Don't want to run too low. We've got some hay going on our hay dryers. And that's why the hay dryers are very important, because they will provide for the cows. Another important thing is actually honey. So if you get honey, if you have honey here in your offers, you can buy it. It's actually another food source which we can't produce yet. I guess they're probably gonna update that so we can build beehives and stuff. But for now, honey is actually just something. It's just expensive, and it gives your villagers something to eat. So you have like a little insurance policy, just in case you run out of food. Because if the villagers run out of food, it's pretty bad. They're gonna move out. And they've got milk. They've got lots of milk now. And you can do that. A lot of people want to do chickens and other things first, but I would suggest, unless you have a really good crops rotation going, do not get chickens yet. Make sure your villagers are fed. Make sure there's a market going. Get a couple of new houses in. Get a couple new villager families before you decide to do chickens and pigs, because pigs are very, very expensive to maintain. They will eat you out of house and home. They'll eat all the food, and your villagers will starve, and the pigs will starve too, and you'll lose a lot of money, and it'll just be like kind of a hassle. It'll break your game almost. So don't worry about that. Prioritize gathering. We're in the gathering season now. Our crops are almost gonna be full soon, so make sure that all hands are on deck to gather this stuff, because if you don't gather it and the winter time comes, you'll lose your crops that you just left on the ground. So that's a big no-no with this game. You just want to make sure that you have that. And make sure you're monitoring your worker in the cow shed, because if she's leaving her post, then your cows will be like starving, which is not good. So yeah, don't do that. Make sure you have at least one villager on that at all times. That's happened to me before, and I hope it doesn't happen in this game. We will see. Try not for that to happen. So let's see. I think we have enough men to do the jobs that we need to do here. So we've got the carpentry. Okay, so we're building our carts. We can put up another cart shack here. Once we have our carpentry, it goes pretty quick. So as long as you have wood and steel, you'll have a lot. The carts will be good. So we're gonna send another messenger out. Oh, there's no manager. See, the manager left his post because we put too many people on building. And that's not good, because then messengers can't even contact us for services. So your men are very min-max here. at this point. It's kind of like rough. So you can get rid of this guy. He'll probably be a manager soon. Okay. We've got 480 iron left. We have enough to get us through another couple of years, but we're gonna wanna get more iron. That's another thing that we can't build, so we're gonna have to spend gold on that. So we're kind of running a little. We're moderate on funds, so we're hoping that charcoal is being offered and sunflower oil, but we don't have enough sunflower oil yet, so we'll just wait on that. We can turn our bulls into oxes here. So you want at least one bull fertilizing your cows. So if you have that, you can have baby cows. The babies will be born all the time. So we have honey and we have charcoal. That's not good enough here. So this is kind of a bust. We needed iron. We can buy some honey. Buy like $100 worth of honey. That's fine. And we could put honey in the market for people to have to get through the next year, because this is kind of tense, this situation. We may or may not have enough surplus of food to get us through. We're hoping that we can. So if they harvest these sunflowers and then they lose out on the potatoes and buckwheat, you know, you're not going to have enough food. So that's why we don't really do chickens yet, because the chickens will just eat everything. You don't really want that. We can do another charcoal pile. We can actually deactivate these. We don't really need it right now. We want to have our laborers. This is the critical time right here. These laborers, they're going to leave this food for people to pick up. So you're going to want to have laborers come in to be hired to pick that shit up. So we don't need this guy right now. We don't need these guys. There's nothing to do at the forestry. That's kind of like annoying when they make enough wood. There's nothing to do. So they'll just sit there. 2 of your men will just be sitting there. So that these guys are on labor. It's good. They're picking it up. We're getting our crops. Make sure this girl is still at the cow shed. Don't want to screw that up. Now we've got our harvest here. This is going very well. It's August and we're doing pretty good. This is good progress. The men are picking up the harvest. We've got, I think our women, yeah, we can take her off that for now. Certain things, like once they max out, they're just going to be a villager sitting there doing nothing. So we can just get rid of them, put them on labor. Make sure we got our laborers. And now we can actually start making olive oil or sunflower oil. And the sunflower oil will definitely get done very quickly, which is awesome. Oh, and we have a new family. Nice. We can actually get a new family because we have honey and milk. That's why we have a new family here. And also this laboring time, this harvest time within like August, September, and November. This is when you can actually recruit new villagers because you have all these jobs, and you can look no housing available. So if we have housing, new villagers will move in. But I mean, you can try and get new villagers. They have enough food to get them through a year, because new villagers, they come with food already. So that's okay. But we have our old villagers are kind of running low on stuff at this point. And these guys they'll eventually run low. They have a lot of kids and they've got a grandpa. So Depends, like, when you get new villagers, it's kind of like a wild card. You don't know how many people are actually going to move in. So, we got a grandpa, and he's probably doing stuff. He's unemployed, so he can still work, which is awesome. Alright, here we go. We got 500. So you're going to want to max this out. We can do 1,000 for now. We don't have to go too crazy, because we want to have some sunflower oil for the villagers to eat. We don't want to run out of sunflowers too quick. But, I mean, the sunflower oil is very lucrative, so just wait on the messengers. Over the winter time, most likely you'll have a bunch of petitions, and you'll probably get a sunflower sale, so that's fine. So that definitely the sunflower sale will be very good. And the charcoal sale is kind of rare, but it does happen. So that is awesome when that happens. You definitely want that. Let's see, sunflower. So the sunflower oil is definitely a good source of food. They'll just suck that up. Sunflowers are awesome. Here we got a messenger. Nope, nothing good. We can buy some salt. Salt is one of those things that you have to buy. You don't have to buy it, but it definitely helps out with your, with your shit. You can make fish, dried fish, which, by the way, you don't really need dried fish. You can get by without it. You don't even need to sell it. If you have the sunflower oil, you can just sell sunflower oil all day long and just make lots of money. And charcoal too. And you'll be fine. These guys are out of firewood, uh-oh. So yeah, we want to get these men on there as soon as we can. And we can sell some firewood here. We don't have to. It's free. It just gives them another area to like pull from. So your forestry has more stuff to do. And yeah, we can keep building and stuff. Now we don't have any crops, so we've gotten through our years. And now, right now is your time to crop rotation. So we have the sunflowers are looking a little meager. They've sucked all the nutrients out of the soil. So we're just gonna turn that into fallow land. We can do this as buckwheat, and we can actually do this. We can try sunflowers again. You don't need wheat. We can make that into something. We can link it up to a farm. This is our cow pasture, but we don't need cows in here right now. So we can do some wheat in here. That's fine. And then this will be your cow pasture. These two will be your cow pasture for next year. So next year when the springtime comes, your cows will be let out into the pasture to eat, and they'll eat for free. You don't have to feed them or water them. They're fine. So we got a nice little well. Our wells are nice. They're filled. We've got honey. We've got salt. We've got everything that we need. So you're pretty much good. And we need some more nails because we don't have a smithy. So that's pretty much it as far as this game is concerned. You can start building chickens. There's actually a tip that I want to show you with chickens. We'll save this game. So we'll load up. So this is my other game. And these are the cows in the pasture. They're just kind of grazing. They're providing nutrients. And we've got horses here. The horses are they don't really matter at all. You can get by without them. They're just there for aesthetic. And our chickens. So our chickens, if you want to have chickens, you're going to want to be aware of the livestock limit. The livestock limit goes to 30. So once you get your 30 chickens, they're just going to be there doing nothing. So we can actually just slaughter these chickens and just bring them down to 10. And once you do that, they'll start slaughtering them like pretty quickly. Let's see if our slaughterhouse. Yep, our slaughterhouse has a guy on it, and if once you start slaughtering animals like cows, you're gonna want a slaughterhouse. So just be aware of that. See, we got our chicken meat. Our chickens are going down. They're getting slaughtered, poor things. So once you have like 15, 10 chickens, you don't need any more. You can just let them replenish. So you got hatchlings. The hatchlings will grow into chickens, and you can start the cycle all over again. You've got a lot of chicken meat here. You got your cows. The cows, the newborn cows, will be cool. You know, they'll do their thing. They'll breed pretty rapidly. And we can check our farms. We have a good amount of plow lifespan left, so we can actually just go ahead and slaughter these bulls. We can slaughter a bull, 2 bulls. We got a bull ready to go. He's 4 months old. He's growing. You don't really need him. You got a couple cows that are getting old. We can slaughter those. You got 12 cows, and the livestock limit is 20. So once you get to about like 15 cows, it's kind of too much. You don't want that many. You're gonna want to make sure that your cow situation is under control, and our pig situation is not in control right now. We just had baby pigs just being born, so they eat fast. They're very quickly gonna deplete your food supply if they have this many. So we don't need all these boars. These are kind of just little. They're like little maggots. They eat fast. Little maggies. So we can chop them down. We can slaughter these pigs. Got 1 female pig. If you have 1 female pig and 1 male pig over a year old, they'll just burst with babies every year. They'll make like 8 babies. Like all these pigs are like born in like the same time. So you can just slaughter them. They're fine. They're not going anywhere. They're just gonna eat you out of house and home. So the trick with pigs is that if you want to make sure they grow to like 6 months old, and then you can slaughter them. I think 6 months is like the cap for food. So because animals have a weight to them. So if you slaughter an animal before it's full grown, you're not going to get as much food out of them as you normally would. So yeah, just buy your iron. Make sure you have a good supply, because you can't build that. But yeah, pigs are annoying. They're not very cost effective, I'd say. You want to make sure a couple of them grow, get them to 6 months old, slaughter them, keep your male and female pig, and then let them breed. Just kill all the babies, and that's that. And you want your windmill. You got your oil workshop here. We got our oil at 2,000, charcoal's at 2,000. I mean, I have all this other stuff and I don't even sell it. I just keep it for my villagers. My villagers have fish, they've got honey, and it's great. Everything is great. The villagers create lots of fish, and I could sell buckwheat maybe. Oh, we've got a man on this. How did that happen? It's okay, because after a certain point you have so many villagers that everyone needs a job anyway. You don't need to like really partition the men and women from doing work. You can just go ahead and do that. But that's about it for my tips and tricks. If you have anything else, if you want me to show, I can do that. Right now, this lime kiln does not work. I don't know why, if it's just this particular game, or if it's just like the whole game in general, if it's just this map that sometimes you'll get like a glitch that just is unique to your save, which is kind of shitty, but you know, just start a new game. It's pretty easily done. Within like a couple hours you'll have hundreds of villagers if you keep going. If I keep going with these houses, I'll just get new villagers to move in. And we're kind of at our carrying capacity right now. We don't really want any more villagers. We can build more fishing docks, you know, to try and get more people on there. But as it stands right now, we have a lot of farms. Just check your farms all the time. Make sure you've got lots of stuff. Make sure your villagers aren't starving. And that's pretty much it. And your chickens here. Yep, we've got 2 chicken coops, I think. So you can just build another chicken coop like on each side of your village. Eventually once you're gonna want like 2 or 3 different chicken coops, you're gonna want to have 3 farms. That's about as much as I would go. I think I had one village that had like 300 people and I had like 4 farms. It's just a lot to remember because now you're gonna have to deactivate all this and start new. Make sure that's kind of being rotated out. And these gonna have to get, once the cows go back in the shed, you can just deactivate all that. And this is kind of important because if you forget to change this up, you'll just kind of starve your village. So don't do that. Definitely make sure that you're keeping on the up and up here. And this is a full nice little pasture that the nutrients came back because the cows, they fertilized it. And we got cows and everything is good. So thanks for watching my videos, and I hope that you enjoy Ostriv as much as I do.